Have you ever accidentally heard your partner's secret? I've been married to James for 5 years. He's good to me, steady, loyal, the kind of man who checks the tire pressure without being asked, but he's not the most expressive person. He doesn't gush or leave long love notes. And even though I knew he cared, there were nights I'd lie awake beside him, wondering if he even saw me, really saw me. One night, after a particularly cold argument that ended in silence, I was staring at the ceiling, feeling like a ghost in my own bed. That's when I heard him mumble, soft and half asleep. So beautiful. My whole body went still. I didn't know what to do with it. The next night, I listened again. He talked in his sleep a lot, something I'd always brushed off. But this time I wrote it down in a notebook on my nightstand. It started out as a curiosity. Most of what he said made no sense. Work stuff, random phrases, numbers. Once he said something about concrete. But then, a few nights later, I'd come home drained. A parent had criticized me in front of the principal. I held it together until I got home, and when I told James, he gave advice. Practical, useful, but not comforting. I went to bed feeling small. That night, I heard him whisper, "Her students are so lucky. Best teacher. So patient." I sat up in bed. My throat tightened. It was the first time I felt like he understood me, like he really saw what I poured into every day. The journal started filling up. Sometimes it was my name followed by things like, "She's amazing," or "Can't believe I get to love her." Once he said, "Her laugh is my favorite." These were words he'd never said out loud when awake. I told my sister about the journal over coffee one afternoon. I admitted I felt guilty, like I was eavesdropping on something I wasn't meant to hear. She just looked at me and said, "That's not snooping. That's the real him, with no guard up. That's love, not performance." After that, I started noticing the things James did. My phone was always charged in the mornings, even when I forgot. My favorite show was queued up without asking. He always filled the gas tank on Sundays, so I'd never have to on Monday morning. Then, one night at dinner with friends, someone made a joke about how emotionally stiff James could be. Everyone laughed, but I saw it, just a small flinch in his eyes. That's when it clicked. His silence wasn't coldness, it was fear, or maybe shame. Maybe he never learned how to speak love the way I did. On our anniversary, I woke up and he wasn't in bed. I found him in his office, sitting in a circle of greeting cards, dozens, some still in the store bags. He looked startled when he saw me. "I buy them," he said. I never know when to give them. I don't want it to feel forced." I didn't say anything. I just went back to the bedroom and brought him the sleep-talking journal. He read every page without saying a word. Then his voice cracked and he whispered, "I try so hard. I just don't always know how." We stayed up until morning, finally saying things we'd both been holding in for years. He told me about growing up with a dad who never said "I love you." I told him how his quiet sometimes made me feel invisible. Things didn't magically change overnight, but they changed. Slowly, in the way that matters. Now he sends me little texts in the middle of the day, leaves notes in my bag, sometimes just sits next to me while I work. No words, just presence.